line was ringing. Dispatch picked up, and what came next wasn't a crime, wasn't an emergency, but it still made its way into the police logs.
Why? We're not even speaking anything.
From outrageous neighbor complaints to full-blown freakouts over nothing, these calls were real, and they left even the officers wondering, why was this even reported in the first place?
911 operators have one of the most stressful jobs in the world, helping people during their worst times.
Dispatch in Columbus, Ohio, was picking up a call they weren't expecting to log that day.
I just gave this guy $25 to buy me up, and he ran in his house, didn't come out, and I don't want to do nothing that's harassment, but yeah, either dude won't give me my money or something will happen.
A man was saying he gave someone $25, not for groceries, but for and the guy ran into his house and never came back out.
I said, I really don't want to do nothing, but when he said it was a king, really took my $25 and went in the dream house on Dakota Avenue and didn't come out.
He kept insisting he didn't want to do anything that could be called harassment. What really caught them off guard was how casually he gave his full name, like he was proud of reporting a drug deal gone bad.
What's the address? And what's your name?
And my name is...
Officers were listening, trying not to laugh, while realizing this wasn't a prank. Well, he was too honest and didn't want to sugarcoat anything. Pierre ended up facing no charges because no actually changed hands. Still, calling the cops on yourself for a failed drug deal? That's exactly the kind of ridiculous reason people make officers deal with every day.
Maybe find a way to attract women that don't need acquired such a taste.
I know.
Try to find better places to hang out too, because they'll need someone out here.
Hopefully, Pierre takes the officer's advice seriously next time before dialing 911 over this mess. What happened next left everyone shaking their heads in disbelief.
Merry Christmas!
On December 22nd, 2022, Ohio officers were dispatched to an apartment after the landlord called 911. When they arrived, the caller was intoxicated and yelling, but she insisted she didn't need emergency help and said she was just unwell.
I'm really sick.
Okay.
I'm actually like I'm reading. I don't even want to.
Yeah.
Despite her protests, the officers stayed to assess the situation, trying to figure out what was really going on behind the noise and confusion. The woman was acting erratically, insisting she was a nurse with 12 years of experience.
I'm a nurse. And I'm a...
Don't act like it.
I said get down!
What's up?
And get out of my building now!
She aggressively told officers to leave, claiming authority over the building and refusing entry. Ignoring repeated warnings, the woman refused to leave and escalated the situation by attempting to strike a tenant. Her defiance left officers no choice, marking the breaking point that forced them to take action. It was clear the situation had spiraled beyond control.
You said
Put your hand.
I'm going to jail. I do something now.
Yeah, you're going to jail. We give you a lot of expense.
She was charged with disorderly conduct. But before officers could even wrap up that chaos, another call was already pulling them into a situation even more unpredictable. On Christmas 2022, a woman called 911 to ask if it was safe to walk home in the cold. But when officers arrived, they saw Rachel hurl a box at her child's head. The situation escalated instantly.
That's my person.
Let's talk.
I'm not a ride.
Let's talk.
Well, I can ride.
I know, let's talk.
Her behavior spiraled, exposing deeper issues. And this call was anything but routine. Officers had barely started speaking with Rachel when she was already pushing back. But the facts weren't on her side. Multiple officers had just witnessed her throw a box directly at her child's face. Despite her objections, it was time for the cuffs. Rachel unraveled the second cuffs came out. She begged, protested, and claimed she was the one who needed help.
What are you doing?
Rachel, persistent. It's so what? Rachel, stop.
That's the idea.
Said she had work, said her child hit her first. but officers had already seen her throw the box. She'd called 911, then called Brian for backup, but neither helped her case.
Called you. She called 911, asking to make sure it was safe for her to walk home.
In the end, she was charged with battery and obstruction. Just as that case was wrapping up, officers were already being pulled into another scene, one that looked simple at first, but was hiding something much more volatile underneath.
What's going on today?
First, just get a light.
Okay, so hold on a second. You wanted to talk to me, didn't you?
No, I
Alright.
want to.
Hold on. Come
Shut up.
A woman kept dialing 911 in Wisconsin over issues that barely sounded like emergencies. After accusing a sergeant of faking his identity, she made 5 more non-stop calls. That's when officers stepped in to teach her a hard lesson about consequences. Her refusal to stop wasting emergency resources left officers no choice but to take action. The officers were firm. She was going to be arrested tonight for disorderly conduct by phone and making multiple unnecessary 911 calls.
You're gonna be placed under arrest tonight, okay? For disorderly conduct by phone
What?
and for calling 911 multiple times without.
What?
Confused and desperate, she kept yelling, demanding they release her from the handcuffs. Her frantic pleas filled the air, but the officers stood their ground. The tension was thick as she struggled, refusing to let go. As a result, she was charged with making a false 911 call and disorderly conduct. But this wasn't the kind of emergency officers had been bracing for. Just something far more unexpected and bizarre. In summer 2022, officers responded to a battery call involving a woman who claimed a driver tried to run her over. She was emotional, but something felt off.
So in the car stopped,
That's right.
and I yelled, like, hey, people are walking.
Okay.
I'm still on, and then he hits me right in the knee with his car.
With its car?
He gets out and throws me up against the wall, and then throws me on the ground.
Okay.
She described her injuries and insisted only the driver was involved. While the lead officer consulted with her team, they uncovered details that completely contradicted the woman's story.
Happens where he wants to horn her
She's got.
because she's attacked him.
Okay.
So then he smelled her porn, and so she started banging on the hood of his car,
Right.
like screaming, "You!"
The man had stopped to let his wife out when a honk set her off. Believing she was under attack, she banged on the hood, screaming. When he stepped out, she punched him, leaving a deep cut on his nose. He pushed her away, likely just trying to defend himself. From the start, something felt off, and the female officer saw it. As they questioned the woman, the victim quickly started looking more like the suspect. The moment she was told she was under arrest, she snapped, adding another charge instantly. Little did they know, the calls would only get stranger from here. On February 24th, 2024, Florida officers were responding to a disturbance between a man and a woman staying at an Airbnb. The woman had made the call, claiming the man had attacked her. But as officers were digging deeper, her story was starting to fall apart.
So they started working with the shoot. They started there.
Yeah, I started right in front of him because now
I can't hear him because you're screaming. Hold on a second, okay? I'm listening to him, and I'm gonna listen to
his
you.
story's different. I'm the one that's been here. I've called the police on him before.
I
He's
got that.
Russian. I'm American. I know my rights.
I don't care if you're American. He's
Okay,
Russian.
well, Russians have different culture than us, okay? Because I've spoken to his wife. Apparently,
Are you gonna let him tell me his side, and then I'll listen to your
his
side?
side doesn't matter. This is my case.
She hadn't contacted the man, claimed others didn't know the full story, and kept repeating that she wouldn't give up because she was already pressing charges. As they moved to detain her, she started yelling that she was being hurt, even though the officers remained controlled throughout.
You're detained.
Sir,
Go inside, you're gonna get arrested. Go down here on the sidewalk.
why are you hurting me?
You're under arrest.
Sir, I got assaulted.
Just when you think you've heard the most bizarre reason to call the cops, another one comes along that takes it a step further. Kayla's frantic call left officers on edge, bracing for a dire situation.
What's going on? What's going on?
I have to go to work. No, I have to go to work.
Okay.
I'm not willing to be late for work.
Okay, what's going on?
I have to. Nothing. Nothing. I have to go to work. I don't even know why you guys are here. Get away from me, please.
Yet, the scene that unfolded was far from what they expected. As they knocked on the door, voices clashed inside, raising more questions than answers. Law enforcement knocked for several minutes, getting no response. Concern mounting, they called Kayla's number, hoping to make contact. Then came her shocking reply, cold and unexpected.
Hello?
Hey, this is Officer Clash, the Motor Police Department, calling you. What's going on? Well, we got a call from this number stating, okay, what apartment are you guys in? Well, we're trying to, we just want to make sure everything's okay, all right? So we just got to check on everyone.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, how would you know we're knocking on the door?
We're not leaving. Come to the door.
The tension was rising as Kayla insisted she had to get to work, refusing to explain why the officers were there. When questioned about who else was inside, her answers grew evasive, only deepening the mystery surrounding the situation. As she kept denying making the call, the officer dialed the number the 911 call had come from. Suddenly, her phone started ringing right there in her hand. The truth was catching up fast, and her denials were starting to unravel.
We got a call.
Hello?
Hi, chip your bike.
Oh,
Okay, so that's the number that called 911.
I actually have 2 different numbers.
That's the number that called 911.
Oh, you're right, it was.
They need to.
It turned out she had called 911 just to scare her boyfriend. What she intended as a bluff quickly turned into a full police response. Wasting their time on a fake emergency didn't sit well with the officers, and she was promptly arrested. But just when it seemed things couldn't get more bizarre, the next call proved otherwise. On March 4th, 2025, Wisconsin officers were dispatched after a 911 call from a young boy who claimed his mom was being bad and needed to go to jail.
Hello? This is Racine County 911. What's the address of the emergency?
My mommy is being bad.
Okay.
Hello? Come and get my mommy.
Okay, what's going on?
But when they arrived for a wellness check, the 4-year-old revealed the real reason he called, and it was far from an emergency.
What did you call for? I ate his ice cream. You ate his ice cream? Mommy has to go to jail. Should we take her to jail for eating your ice cream? You got to eat us. I agree.
I would let you arrest me.
I agree. Did you call the police?
Yeah.
Why?
I need to go to jail.
According to him, Mom was being bad because she tried to eat his ice cream, even though it wasn't really his. She said he wasn't listening, so she opened it herself. That's when he called 911. If this shocked you, smash that like and subscribe for more wild real-life encounters caught on camera.